Hi, my name is Aaron Kudanian, and I'm here to talk about a rather easy subject, what it means to be alive. So easy, in fact, everybody speaking today on it has a completely different subject. But to each and everyone, it means something completely different, because we all have the power to perceive our own universe. Well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, simply stated, the universe does not exist if not for our ability to acknowledge it. Stanford University physicist Andre Linde says the universe and the observer exist as a pair. You can say that the universe is there only when there's an observer who can say, yes, I see the universe. Now those small words, yes, I can see the universe, for practical purpose may not matter much. But for me, as a human being, I personally do not know any sense in which I could claim that the universe is here in the absence of observers. We are together, after all, the universe and us. The moment you say that the universe exists without any observers, it just doesn't make any sense. You can't imagine a consistent theory of everything that just ignores consciousness. Think of a recording device, for example. You cannot play the role of an observer because who will hear what is on that recording device? In order for us to see that something happens and to say to one another that something did happen, you need to have a universe. You need to have a recording device, and you need to have us. It's not enough for the information to just be stored somewhere completely inaccessible to anybody. It's necessary for somebody to look at it. You need an observer who looks at the universe, because in the absence of observers, our universe is pretty much dead. So now let's dive more into the philosophy of this, right? So neuroscientists at the Wellcome Trust Center for Neuroimaging at London University have found that the ability to construct a hypothetical situation in one's imagination prior to it actually occurring may afford greater accuracy in predicting its eventual outcome. And that makes sense, right? I mean, think about millionaires. Millionaires can't get there without first believing that it's possible. Perception is reality. I can't write a TED Talk without first perceiving it in my imagination. And without me first thinking and using previous perceptions, I can't make it reality. You see, if I can't think of myself singing these words, I wouldn't say them. But because I can think of myself saying them, and as I speak to you now, you know those words become objective reality, as we can now agree that I am saying these words. We are all observing and perceiving these words. So that leads to perceiving your own universe and how you are alive. But now it's just more than that. That power gives you a lot of control of your fate. And you can utilize that in such a strong way. So now, how about some science to all this? J.A. Wheeler, a scientist, philosopher who established the concept of wormholes and black holes, he made an extraordinary contribution to the field of physics, including the theory of participatory universe. His experiment of splitting light particles found that the behavior of the photons changed after observation, which previously the assumption had been that light particles always behave in the same way. But he found that simply observing them made them behave completely different. Additionally, an experiment by scientists Paponin and Guryov in Russia in the 1980s found that photons would mimic human DNA when both were inserted into a vacuum. Prior to inserting the human DNA, the photons moved the vacuum at random. This is referred to as the DNA phantom effect. These experiments make a strong case that we impact our environment more than we realize. So, as we can see, this is even going beyond just inaccessible information. We truly are affecting our own reality by perceiving it, creating our own universe. And we can never forget Einstein and his theory of relativity. Also, the movie Interstellar, and the phenomenon in physics called time dilation brought on by Albert Einstein, and which I learned about in Interstellar. Now, how time dilation works is that time is affected by a perceiver's frame of reference, and also by how close they are to a strong gravitational field. So for those of you who haven't seen the movie Interstellar, first and foremost, I completely apologize because I am most certainly about to spoil the movie. But in this movie, Matthew McConaughey has a daughter named Murph, who is 10 years old. He leaves Earth to travel into a black hole to find a new planet where humans could settle and call home, as Earth is deteriorating at a fast rate. After he goes through that black hole and the second act of the story happens, in the third act, he comes back to the Milky Way galaxy and wakes up on a space station orbiting Saturn, where he is reunited with his daughter. However, he is the same since he left, just a few months older. His daughter, on the other hand, is an 86-year-old woman now. And this is not Hollywood science fiction, it is real. And that's what time dilation is. He perceives his own universe, he perceived his own reality, and all of this is possible, and it is what it means to be alive. Now, obviously, Interstellar is a drastic example, but the idea of perceiving your own universe can help us fundamentally shape our reality in a way that would make us even happier. Think of positive psychology first and foremost. This is a great example of how we perceive our own universe, and one event can happen, and depending on our perception of it, whether it is positive or negative, it will turn out in reality positive or negative. You go to school, you go to work, and think about it positively. You'll notice your day at school or work being positive. Think about it negatively. It will be a negative day. I'm sure you've all noticed this in your own lives and how important that mindset is. And it is all a part of perception. So when you go about your day, I know it can be hard, right? And we all have bad days. But if we perceive our universe as positive, guess what? That will be reality. That's the power we hold, and that's what it means to be alive, to have that power. Thank you.